legless, faceless thing, won't you? Rolling down the street like a turd in the wind.
What the hell are you?
We are Venom.
It's another edition of Extra Butter. Oh, you're just in time. Everyone say, hello, Oscars! Hello, Oscars! That's what we're saying about his Stars Born. Bradley Cooper will drop by. We'll make him admit he's going to be nominated for 2. He'll vastly deny it, but he's still dropping by. And speaking of Oscars, Venom won't be getting it. But it's an awesome movie if you like Spider-Man villains. Is he a villain still? You're going to have to find out. Tom Hardy and Riz Ahmed drop by to talk about that. And what's better than Sicario? Sicario 2. It is cartel-orific. Did I just say that? Hey, Josh Brolin dropping by to talk about that and more on this edition of Extra Butter. It's a show where we get together and just talk about movies pretty much the way you talk about movies. It's just me hanging out with my friends. And, hey, wait a minute. Come here for a second. Somebody new.
Where did you
Hey,
come from?
what's your name?
Hey, Steph Sanders.
Hey, everybody, it's the world-famous Steph Sanders, comedian, joining us today. Wait, where did you come from?
You guys were talking more than the movie, so I'm deciding to come see what you guys are talking about.
I like
That's what it's all about, keeping it real today on this edition of Extra Butter. Butter, swing butter. All right, so matter at hand, we got somebody new at the table. Sir, if you would, formally introduce yourself to everybody.
I am comedian Steph Sanders. How you doing, everybody?
And where do we find you on social media?
I'm so glad to be here. Comedian Steph Sanders everywhere, SSand23, everywhere. You can see me everywhere, and I hope you follow my Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Glitterface, whatever.
Glitterface? Wow, I'm doing it right now. Look at those numbers go up. Bam! You
All
nailed it.
I'm going to add you after the show. We'll switch.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
And you can find me
Yes.
at Kelly Savannah Deaton.
Yeah, world-famous poet and travel blog expert extraordinaire.
Oh, and today, since you called me out last week, look, people, I did not leave it at home.
It's related because she got engaged on the show from Paris covering Mission Impossible 36, whatever that was.
Paris.
All right,
Love that. Oh,
congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so do you have any bling to show, Maria Gloria?
This beautiful eyeshadow is blinging
There you go.
out today.
Funny you should point out her eyeshadow. She's a world-famous makeup blogger on YouTube.
Extraordinaire.
Wow.
Maria Gloria, right there.
There you go. Complaints right there. TV market sound.
And your teeth are always blinging white, my friend.
Yes.
Always.
And those baby blues, are you kidding me? Look
I
at
know.
We
those.
do that in
Double
post.
bling.
Industrial Light and Magic fixes that. All right, so we got to talk about the #1 movie at the box office, crushing it. It is the biggest broad comedy to open in the last decade. I'm talking about Night School.
No
Yes.
way.
All right, you got Tiffany Haddish, you got Kevin Hart, you got a lot of other great people coming together, and the movie is amazingly funny. What a great night at the movies. I knew it was going to be #1.
Yeah? I was not expecting #1, you guys.
Really?
I was not expecting #1, but I am happily surprised because, as we all know, Kevin Hart is one of the hardest working comedians right now. He's literally doing everything.
Have you worked with Kevin Hart?
I have had the honor of being on the same stage as Kevin Hart, yes.
that's
He's
cool.
been, of course, the headliner, and we were opening in some clubs in LA, but yes, fantastic dude, too.
I was going to ask, because had you followed him, you may have noticed a particular smell. It turns out he's a little gassy. Look, he admitted it in the interview. Take a look.
True.
She whooped the fart out me in that scene. Like, and that was it was like it happened, and she stopped. She was, "You just fart?" Yeah, you whooped it out of me just now.
But then I farted on you.
You did one too.
Yeah.
That was in another one. So
Yeah, in another
it
scene.
was a gassy shooting.
I've been talking to Kevin since the dawn of his career. You know who else has?
Who?
The co-producer of the feature film starring Hilary Swank, Fatal. Also a guy who's doing crazy, bananas, awesome stuff on television, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mr. Sean Edwards.
Hi, Sean.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going?
Hey, Sean, congratulations on everything going on. Talk about Turner Movie Classics, because I've been watching and you guys are changing television forever.
Yeah, man, we had a small little takeover during the month of September. The African American Film Critics Association curated a series of classic black movies, and we presented 32 films during the month of September on Turner Classic Movies. It was a great series. It was a great exchange of ideas, with great conversation. And like you said, it's something that we're going to do moving down the line. So it was a great launch, and we're just happy to be a part of the TCM family.
And what's cool about this, the movies, in order to be on Turner Movie Classics, they have to be 25 years old. So let's segue into today. Do you think 25 years from now we'll be talking about some of Kevin Hart's movies?
Oh, without a doubt, man, Kevin Hart has created a new benchmark in the comedy genre. I mean, you can't find a more hard-working, dedicated, laser-focused guy in the business, and he's funny too.
Yep.
So, you know, and he's had a great career. He's done some cool things, so it's been really, really cool what he's been able to accomplish.
Where do we find you on social, Sean?
Everything S. Edwards KC. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you know the deal.
All right. Hey, shout something producer-like. Just act like you're shouting at the cast or crew right now.
How come y'all didn't give me those contracts? They need to be signed ASAP or I can't do
Love
it.
it. There you go. Hey, thanks, man. Good luck.
Love it.
Hey, thanks a lot, man.
Bye, Sean.
Bye,
Thank
Sean.
you.
Sean Edwards, everybody. Sean Edwards.
Right
You
on.
gotta get those contracts. It's all about the contracts.
Absolutely.
about-
Also doing a film with Deion Taylor right now.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Traffic.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic.
Paula Patton's Traffic. So we'll talk about that when it's hitting theaters. In the meantime, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the #2 at the box office because it was a close tie. Smallfoot almost did it, came in second place.
I'm a fan of this movie first and foremost because of the cast.
Oh,
Look at
yeah.
the amazing
Oh,
James
yeah.
Corden,
Yep.
Zendaya,
Comedy.
Common,
Channing
LeBron
Tatum.
James.
LeBron
LeBron
James.
James.
It keeps on going and going. This movie is stacked with such a phenomenal cast.
Yes, it
I was
is.
about to say that. Talk about a stacked
I'm
cast,
saying.
you guys.
I am
Like,
so jealous. I want to be in this movie.
I want to be in this movie too.
The list is so long, I'm shocked that everybody at this table is not in the movie.
Me too.
I sat down with a couple of the members and took your viewer questions to Channing and Common. Take a look. This is Nigel.
Hey guys, I was actually wondering if it was easy to become or create your character while in the studio, or if it was very difficult not having your fellow actors around you.
I don't think I call it difficult. It's just a different way to act, you know, because there's no wrong. You don't know where. You really just got to listen to your director and kind of because he's got the whole thing like kind of at a 30,000 foot view and is really moving all the levers and dials and things. And
Moving on, coming up next, start spreading the news. That singing will not get me an Oscar, but it just may get Lady Gaga an Oscar. Along with that, Bradley Cooper too, one for directing and acting. Bradley joining us next. Hey, welcome back to this fan-schmabulous version of Extra Butter. It's version 2.0. It's not a version.
That's fabulous. It's a word.
It is a word. Hope you're having a good one. Time to talk about exciting movies. Finally, crappy movie season is over, and we welcome in A Star Is Born.
Yes. Yes, it is a beautiful, brilliant story. It's about vulnerability, you guys. At its core, it's so beautiful because it's about a struggling songwriter who hides behind her lyrics, and this huge, huge star who's hiding behind his addiction, his struggle with alcohol, and they pair up, and what they do is so incredibly beautiful. This is a movie that honestly could have been so cheesy and so bad.
Yeah.
But they took this screenplay and took something with it, and I mean, Bradley Cooper's first time directing, you guys.
He killed it.
Oh my God,
Killed
the
it.
trailer, the first trailer I saw was maybe 30 seconds long. It gave me chills in those 30 seconds.
You guys know how you've seen me do interviews before where I sit down and you think, wow, he just kind of sat down and started talking. No, I went full on Barbara Walters for this.
Oh, yeah.
You could tell I'm really in the mic. I full on switched on my Barbara hat. when I
I've
sat
never
down with
seen
her.
you do Barbara Walters before. Let's check it out.
This is legit.
Good to see you.
Congratulations on this.
Thank you.
I guess you've done your job if a middle-aged, jaded guy like me is weeping openly, not only at the movie, but just when you walk in. You wrap yourself around this character so much that it's hard for me not to be sad for the journey he went through.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. Yeah, he's a very endearing character. You know, he's this sort of, he's stuck at 13.
Right.
You know, he had the traumatic thing happen to him when his father passed. And,
Sure.
And then all of a sudden he has this voice and the world's telling him he's this great artist. And now we meet him, he's 43 years old, and he's never cultivated the rest of his world.
Right.
But he's still that little boy, you know, in this sort of older guy's rock star body.
So in talking to directors, Scorsese and a handful of others, all, and I know to a certain extent they're being self-deprecating, but they say all the work is getting casting. Well, with that said, how'd you feel the day that you landed Lady Gaga?
That was the day where the movie was born, really. You know, I'd done all sort of a lot of groundwork to create, you know, a landscape, but if it couldn't be inhabited by her, there is no movie.
Right.
But you know, they're right, these directors, because Sam Elliott, without Sam Elliott, I'd have to rewrite that whole relationship with the brother. If Dave Chappelle didn't come in, if Andrew Dice Clay didn't come, if Anthony Ramos.
And there's probably this voice in your head as an actor that you're used to hearing, saying, oh, I got it right, or did I get it right, or I need to do this. What is that voice saying as a director?
You know, oddly enough, I don't ever try as an actor to get it right. I try as an actor to give my director everything that they're asking for, and being willing to fail. And the thing that I learned as a director is to approach it the exact same way. Mike Nichols in a documentary talks about the guy asked him, how do you approach directing? He said, the same way I approach acting. Prepare, 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 show up and throw it all away.
Right.
And that's a great lesson, for me at least.
We have a mutual friend, Joe Carnahan. I said that I was talking to you. He said he texted you, but evidently he doesn't have your current number.
No.
But he told me to tell you, I said, did you know he had it in him? He said, I always knew that Bradley Cooper, if he set his mind to it, would be a great director, and said Charlie would be proud.
Oh.
Indeed. So congratulations on everything. Nice to see you, friend.
Thank you.
And of course, that was about his father, who passed away a couple years ago, a big part of his life, and I know his father would be so proud of him right now.
He's just so okay with being so vulnerable and making people around him be vulnerable.
Yeah. I am never wrong about this one, I'm sure, and I'm sure that he's going to get a nomination for Best Director. I'm sure he's going to get a nomination for Best Actor. What do you think about her for Best Actress?
She is definitely going to get a nomination for Best Actress. She was fantastic in this movie. The movie itself made her fantastic.
Yes.
Made everybody in it fantastic, but she did a fantastic job.
Yeah, the line's going to be long. You're going to see Star is Born this week, and I highly recommend it.
Yes, go see it, please.
Oh, for sure. And you can take mom, grandma, anybody.
Anybody.
Except it's not for the younger set, because it is a serious movie, and it's not just a love story. It deals with mental illness, addiction, so keep that in mind. But it is a beautiful movie, and I cried.
Every time I hear the trailer come on now, I start weeping open. Maybe it's time to let the good times.
I'm on the deep end. Okay, that's all.
And I do get a lump in my throat.
There you go. All right, coming up next, superhero villains. Venom has his own movie. Coming up next, we'll be talking with Tom Hardy, Riz Ahmed, and the stars. And welcome back. It is Extra Butter. If you're just tuning in now, someone new at the table, sir, introduce yourself.
Comedian Steph Sanders.
As usual, poet extraordinaire Kelly Savannah Deaton, and makeup extraordinaire YouTube artist Maria Gloria. Thanks for hanging out. I'm Marcus Allen, and I geek out about stuff like this. Anybody else double my geekdom here at the table?
For Tom Hardy, hell
Quadruple?
For comic books, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so which is it? Is it comic books or your love and lust of Tom Hardy?
Both.
Comic books. I want to admit to like Tom Hardy.
Both.
All right, so for people who know nothing of Venom, what do we get with Venom?
Venom is the superhero from Spider-Man. Now he has his own movie. Own collection of movies after this, as far as I'm concerned.
That's all you got to say right there.
Perfect, yeah. And I was surprised at Tom Hardy's range, because you think superhero movies, sometimes you don't get a lot of oomph.
Right.
But Tom Hardy shocked me in this role, because he's playing two characters the entire movie, just like he did in Legend. But I think a lot of people are going to be surprised at his performance, quite frankly.
So when you talk about his range, and he brings humor to this movie, so let's just say you were going to sit down with Tom Hardy, how would you explain that to him?
Not the way that I think you're going to in this clip.
I had what might be the worst celebrity interview ever. Can I explain just a little bit?
Yes.
All right.
Send it.
What would you do? I want to tell him that he's funny in this movie, and we don't normally expect humor from him. How do you phrase that? How do you frame it?
Very delicately.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, I noticed you were kind of different in this movie in a great way.
Mark, I mean, I think you were just handed a real tough cookie, so.
Yeah, it didn't go well. Take a look. Your director's leaning on you to bring some comedic moments that we haven't exactly seen you do before.
You mean I'm not funny?
I think you're extremely funny. I just haven't seen it on camera often.
Well, thanks for that, bud. That's it.
All right.
We laughed.
Well, you know, you laid it out there, so I'll go ahead and say this.
You're not funny.
You are very funny.
Thank you.
Just know when you're trying to be.
All right, bud.
I've never seen you in movies be funny.
Oh, thanks.
No, I mean, your characters aren't funny.
It's okay, buddy. That's cool. Each to their
This
own.
is like the opposite of that Joe Pesci Goodfellas scene.
Yeah.
You're not funny. You mean I'm not here to amuse you? It's bizarre.
I've interviewed, like I said, I've interviewed pretty much every A-list actor, every Academy Award winner.
You don't have to show off about it, man.
I'm not dropping names. I'm not
back in your box. We've met a few people ourselves. You know what I mean?
There's a point.
Bloody rodeo geese.
Jesus.
None have
We're in Hollywood now.
We may not be from here, right?
Just got here from London.
We do know what goes on here. Okay, just building up your old press release.
No, I'm just saying that in all of that, only two intimidate me as much as you.
Who?
Tommy Lee Jones is the other guy, and you.
Legitimate.
I always I wet my pants walking in the room for fear of talking to you.
You're sitting on your phone, bro, so be careful.
You might
because those phones are not waterproof.
Look at
that. Can we got a towel?
That's, you know, that's... Don't make your problems my problems. Okay.
So
you're amongst friends here.
Okay.
Yeah,
and I'm funny.
Have you seen the movie yet?
Yeah,
Either
admit that he's funny. And
and then we can move past it.
We're past it. You're funny. You're funny.
Good, thank you.
Have you seen the finished product yet?
No.
Okay, you're gonna love it. I want to see.
We have seen it. We have seen it. Yeah, it's
Michelle
good.
Williams hadn't seen it. She had questions for me.
Is she funny?
She's funny when she needs to be.
Okay.
He's very diplomatic about this.
Yeah, that needs to be bit.
Yeah.
Oh, suddenly now I get the big this. Guys,
now you're just leaving. Okay, brilliant. Thanks for
that. My apologies.
Mark, I saw you physically shrinking in your chair.
I was. And my voice was going a little bit higher. I just, what? You know, normally they look off. Here's a sign something's going wrong in an interview. The star looks off to the side, and that's where they're looking at their publicist saying, get me the hell out of here. What's this about, right? Well, in this one, I'm looking off the side, hoping they're publicist.
You're like, do I have a publicist?
What are you attacking me? Won't you back this up? All right, so you think that interview was bad? You know what was worse? My interview with Michelle Williams. I led with saying this. I said, so hey, what'd you spend the $1 million on that Mark Wahlberg gave you?
No, you did not. I know you didn't. Okay.
I did. We just talked.
Do you have a favorite moment without plot spoiling too much that you love?
Well, this is terrible, but I haven't seen the film yet.
What? You should be asking me questions.
Well, I know, I want to. Tell me everything.
It's really awesome. I love that it's edgy. The action is good, but at the same time, there are parts that play like a buddy picture, and you sink your teeth into, no pun, into the relationship issues that are at hand. So
Great.
I dug it.
All right, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Working with this Tom Hardy guy. No offense, he scares the shit out of me. There's something so intimidating about him.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, and like the most surprising thing is he's a puppy dog. He plays all these really intimidating, scary dudes, but in life he's just kind of like this. Oh. That's my impression.
Has he ever seen you do that impression?
No, don't tell him about it.
Such a lovely human being there, Michelle Williams. Absolutely. I think she's going to go on to win even more Academy Awards.
This is a different kind of role for her. It's kind of like a step back from last year's controversy and all the money in the world. I like this though. I like that she went for it and she can kind of, she classes it up, as you say, I think.
Right. So I'll sum up with my review of Venom. I think you are going to like it if you lean into the silliness of it. This movie does not take itself seriously, and if you go in thinking it's going to be the dark Venom from your comic books, you're going to be one of those people out trolling the movie sites after you get out. Worst movie ever.
I think Tom Hardy was the best choice for this role because he can play two characters like nobody else can.
He plays like a buddy picture. When he starts talking to Venom and Venom starts talking back to him, it's like you're watching Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, I kind of like that aspect. That's what I mean. I like that aspect of it.
So there you go. Hope you got enough on that. Coming up in a moment, a movie you can watch at home that I said was brilliant on the big screen. Now you can watch it in the comfort of your own home.
With your kids.
No, don't take the kids. What if they're already watching with their kids, Maria?
Cover their eyes. They're fine. They gotta learn at some point.
Exactly. It's an educational film about the cartel.
Yes.
Coming up in a moment, Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro sit down to talk about it.
Toro, Mark.
Hey, welcome back to Extra Butter. We're about to wind down the show. Before we do that, we'd like to talk about something you can curl up with, cozy style in your own home. That, of course, would be this week's cool release, and that's Sicario 2.
Okay.
Kelly, take us to the top. What do we know about it?
There's nothing more that I like than drug movies. This is a gritty, dark, war on drugs movie about two men that couldn't be further on the spectrum. You have an assassin, you have an FBI agent, and when they get together, things combust and cartels go crazy and kill people. I don't know if it's as good as the first one, I'm gonna be honest, but I do like that we see more of the relationship between Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro's
characters.
Union,
Talking about Benicio del Toro, I sat down with him to talk.
Is making a movie like this for you exhausting in that your character has to live in this sustained duress and almost agony for so long? You have to kind of live in that state?
You do, yeah, you do live in that state, but you always have Josh Brolin right there, you know, cracking jokes and making everybody kind of laugh and relax.
And what's funny, you guys, you know I'm big on lighting, right? Benicio del Toro is one of those guys that if you light him right, he looks like he is there for no other purpose than to kill you.
Yes.
There's probably something sharp or explosive on him that's about to do damage. But if you put the right light on him, all of a sudden he cleans up and he looks like a Rolex model.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I
he's
mean,
a stunning
yeah,
man.
I love him too.
Yes.
I love him too, but not as much as I love Josh Brolin. Not really to either of that, but I needed a segue.
That's Kelly's man.
I do love
That's
Josh Brolin, but
Kelly's
not the
man.
way you two love Josh Brolin.
I don't love Josh. I'm not gonna admit that in front of Kelly. She'll snap my neck, Mark.
Exactly. What a big year he's had. Who loved him in Deadpool? Right, all right, all on the same table. I talked to him a little bit about that and a little bit about that. Take a look. As a little kid, did you ever in your wildest dreams, once you decided maybe you'd give this a shot, that you'd go to the multiplex and be able to look up and go, yeah, I'm in that, I'm in that, I'm in that, I'm in that. It's
no,
hard not
I think
to find you.
for 20 years, forget being a kid, for 20 years I didn't feel, for longer than that, for 30 years I never felt that way, you know? It didn't, you know, this is a 2.5 year process that we did these movies, and then they all kind of came out one after the other.
I mean, come on, Cable. Like, I would imagine you, even though you're thinking about lighting, oh, they took that take. You're still rearranging organs from laughing so loud.
No, I enjoyed it very much. I think Ryan and I, especially on the tour, had a really good time with it. We have a nice banter.
So follow us online, keep the discussion going. Extra Butter TV on Facebook. I'm at TV Marquez Allen. So Sarah, where can we find you?
Extra Butter, you can find me comedian Steph Sanders everywhere. STEPH Sanders everywhere.
Got it. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having
Thanks for having me. Since you're new here, any final words?
If you ever see these three in the movie theater talking, don't join in, because then you'll have to come over here to this table as well.
That's true.
And you'll have the best day of your life.
I did.
See there.
And
free
some lovely
popcorn.
ladies.
Yeah, see?
He actually has to pay for that, Mark. Kidding.